Hi everyone and welcome. It's Marcie Besecker. I'm an independent demonstrator with Stampin Up. I'm from Clovis, California, and I am recording this video for you because I am going to be out of town and won't be doing a live. This card was so much fun. I've been really wanting to play with the sunflowers again, and I'm so glad that they didn't retire. So I'm going to combine some new with old and create this fun card. Of course, you know, with watercoloring, nothing ever looks exactly the same. And so let's get started and see what happens. All right, so with this card, the film just does not do it justice. You have to see this in person. So I hope you'll give this card a try. In the background, we're going to use this beautiful Stitched Greenery die. This one here, I really love it. Let me move my keyboard so we can kind of get started. I'm not going to put a mat down because we're going to be doing a lot of coloring and watercoloring and things, and so we're going to need some other supplies in here, so we don't need that. So let's go ahead and get started with our die cutting. And I just did this card last night, and so I thought, well, I might as well get it over with the video so that I can get it all planned and ready for you so you can see it on Sunday. So we're going to go ahead and I'm going to turn this over because it's kind of bowing down just a little. So I try to flip my plate back and forth as much as I can to make it last as long as I can. All right, so what we're going to do is I'm going to go ahead and feed this through, but I'm going to also bring it back through. So let's go across once. I just want this to have a nice deep image because we are going to be watercoloring on it. And although I think one time is suffice, I really don't have a place to pull it out on the other side because I've got all my video stuff there. So we're going to pull this out. And this is what it looks like. Look how pretty that is. And it's not a die cut, it's stitched. It's just really gorgeous. Okay, so while we have this here, we are going to bring in our gorgeous rose gold and gold metallic paper, and we are going to use the gold. So we're going to bring one sheet of this. You can kind of tell in person. On the camera it's hard to tell, but it's brushed and it's brushing this way. It really does not matter for what we're doing. I'm going to go ahead and take the Encircled Beauty. I just want to add some gold in the background. So I think we're going to go ahead and put this way up in the corner. I need to grab a little piece of tape. I do not want these to tape over each or to cut over each other. So let's get that in the corner. We want to save as much of our metallic paper as we can. And that looks good right about there. I just want to make sure that everything is kind of centered and looks good, and that does. So I'm going to go ahead and put that on there. Also, I'm going to bring in my sunflower dies, which I put away last night, forgot to bring back out. We are going to take our large sunflower, and it should fit on here. It's going to be close, but it will fit on here. You just need to find that like a flatter spot to kind of go up next to this. But you also want to make sure your tips are in. Now, normally I don't like to do dies this close together. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a piece of tape just to lay right there and just kind of make sure they're not going anywhere. I've got them on the side, so we're good there. I'm going to add this leaf up here because we need 3 of those. And then I'm also going to add these 2 longer strands. We'll put one, let's see if I think I can put that one right there, and then we'll fit this one in right here. So we want to use up as much as we can of our gold paper. So again, I'm going to have to go through and back out because I don't have anywhere to go ahead of me. I could pull it back. Let's see. If I pull it this way. But I think I'm going to want to go back anyway because these are a couple, well, the one in encircled in Beauty, that one's a little more intricate. So I'm going to go out and then back through. Okay. So let's pull that out. And this gold paper is a little, it has kind of a coating on the back, so it's one of those ones that's just a little more delicate, but you can tell it's die cut really well. You just might have to work with it just a little bit. This one looks like it could go through again, so let me show you what I'm going to do. I'm going to leave that tape on both sides now. We're going to go ahead and move it up so it can die cut again. I'm going to take this leaf out because I need to get 3 of these. So let's take this out. I'm going to take that out and this one. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut down this piece of paper that I need here. So this is going to pop out right here. I'm just going to cut that. Cut this piece, and we're going to use this again. And I need 2 more leaves, so I'm going to put a leaf right there. And I want 1 more of these. So I'm just going to put this down here so I can get another leaf in over there. Alright, so now we're good. I'm going to pull it back a little. I'm just running this one through again just to get a little better cut. One little part doesn't look like it cut all the way through. And again, that's that kind of plastic backing on the back of that cardstock. So, all right, here we go. Another leaf. We'll just poke that out. And these are going to fall out really easily. So we'll fix that when we're done. This one, we're going to go ahead and, again, that little backing is just a little stronger than a regular cardstock, but you don't want to break your piece. So you could always use your piercing tool and kind of, like this part's done right here. But up here, you could just kind of set it in there and just be careful when you're pulling your pieces up. Be close to the part you're pulling up so that you don't break them. And then I prefer to come up and just kind of pull them aside. You just don't want to rip them, especially on this beautiful paper. All right, so I think we're good. There we go. So there's our other one. So now we have our 3, which is what we needed. All right, now I'm going to put that back on, and I'm going to add our leaf, our one last leaf. So pretty much 1 full sheet is going to do your whole card. And you get 8 sheets. You get 4 gold and 4 rose gold in this package for only $5. So, you know, so many times we get this paper and then we're like, oh, we don't want to use it, we don't want to ruin it. And if you think about it, $5 for 8 sheets. So that's $2.50 for 4, $1.25 for 2. So it's what, 75 cents? Not even that. 125 is 50, 63 cents for 1 sheet. So you can do a whole card with that. So, all right. So pretty much this is what you're going to have left over. We got to take our 2 leaves out and our sunflower out. So you've got this and this. And I mean, you could keep it and save it for, you know, little punches of something, but I probably won't do that, but you could if you wanted to. All right, so let me get this out of the way because I think we're good right now. And move all of this back in. So I'm going to move this over. And I can tell you that I put a lot of stuff away already from yesterday, and then I decided that this was going to be the card for Sunday when I'm not here. So I decided, you know what, I think I need to do this card because I really liked how it came out, and I wanted to share a project that was some new and some old, and I like the technique. It kind of goes a little bit with what I did today. I'm doing this on the same day that I did the sending hugs videos. So we're going to move that aside. I'm going to grab another couple pins that I realize I need. And I just dropped them all. Okay. I think I have them all now. All right, so what we're going to do is let's first get all of these cleaned up and weed through them so we have them all nice and clean, ready to use. So I'm just going to toss them aside so that we can use them when we get there. Now, this is one of those videos, if I did live, I'd be trying to chat with you while I'm trying to clean these out. So I think it's better that I recorded this video. However, by recording it, I did not prepare anything, well, not much ahead of time. So that's okay. There'll be less talking and you can see how I'm preparing everything. So there's that one. I'm going to just try to pull this off nice and carefully. You don't want to rip your item here, your sunflower. So see, this is that backing. It's kind of a plastic, so there's just a little more work to get these out, but we'll work on that in a minute. And so let's take the tape off this. I would keep this circle. You could use it for something in the future, another project. I'm going to take both of these off, and I'm just going to toss those because they've been used a bit. And look how beautiful. Okay, you could leave this in, and you could poke things out as you go, like this. It does help. You could take your brush, and you could brush it to get it out, which is fine too. I don't mind doing this. To me, it's a little therapeutic, so I just kind of, you know, poke them out as I go, because there's going to be more for you to poke out once you let it go. This just kind of helps release those pieces a little bit, and like I said, with that white backing on the back, it just gives you a little bit of extra, I don't know, makes it a little easier to get all these off, but most of them still stay on because of that backing, but it kind of helps to get them poked through. All right, we're just going to go ahead and take them through. So you can see right here, and then I just keep turning it. Make sure you get your pieces out. I've said this many times that I really like to get everything out. I don't like to leave any of this is called weeding, when you're taking your little pieces out. It's like pulling your weeds. That's what it reminds me of. It's like pulling my weeds. You're getting those little pesky bits out and leaving the prettiness there. All right, so we're just going to go through. If it doesn't bother you, if you're one of those that, you know, it doesn't really bother you if it's there, then get it to where you're happy. And then you're going to glue it down anyway, and it's going to be behind the sunflower, but for me, I know it's there, and I don't want it to have all the icky parts in it. So, which is hard to say because they're still gold and pretty, right? So it's not really icky, but you know what I mean. All right, so that's almost done. More than halfway. I'm waiting for my kids to call me right in the middle of the video because it's not normal video time, and they're going to be like, well, wait a minute. What time is your video? My son, I've told you, he's a correctional officer, and he usually heads home about 6. So he usually calls me on his way home. So we chat, and I'm just now thinking, is my volume on? It is. I haven't touched anything since my video earlier, and we were all chatting, so I'm sure it was fine, but all of a sudden, all right, almost done. But you can see how nicely this cleans up. This is so pretty. And I can just think of so many different cards that this would look really pretty with. And this is only one of the dies. This is the Encircled in Beauty. And it's really pretty. It's got some really pretty sentiments to go inside too, but I can't wait to show you the sentiments I used for this card. Okay, so there we go. Just a couple little ones there. It's not earth-shattering, but you know. Alright. I think we're pretty much done. Okay, so we'll set that one aside. And I'm going to put my dies back together so I don't lose anything. And put them in their pouch. Alright, so there's that. Okay, we're going to take all this weeding and we'll throw it away. We're almost done. We've got these right here. Oh, see, I just tore that, but that's okay because one of these is going to be cut. So it will be this one. Alright, so this one doesn't seem like it's wanting to. There we go. Okay, so this is the one we'll probably cut because this is the one I broke. No problem. I'm cutting one of them up anyway. So we'll just make it this one. Okay, so there's the top of the flower. And this one is attached. Alright, so once this one's done, we just have to do the sunflower. There we go. That's good. Oh, we still have this one, but this one's one leaf. It's a little easier. That one has two, like, branches. Alright, so there's this one. And then I grab it and I pull it out this way. But see, be really careful with these little tiny stems. Alright, so there's another one. Throw that away. Now this one, the sunflower, I just kind of hold it down and pull it up, and it worked out great yesterday. So let's see what's going on here. Because I want to, let's see if this needs to be, that's the weird thing about this die, is I'm afraid it's going to rip. I think this even could go through the cutter one more time. Alright. I don't want to cut it. If you do, you can glue it and it's fine. But try to be careful if you can. My computer just went to sleep. It likes to go to sleep. I don't know why all of a sudden it's been doing that. It doesn't always do that, but... Alright, so I think I'm going to have to cut this one again maybe, or it's going to take a little while to do this, because normally it doesn't take this long. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring the die back in. And bring my little machine in, because I just happen to have it right here too. And since I'm just doing one thing at a time, might as well do this one. So you're going to want to align it back up So I look for these leaves right here. These 3 leaves right in a row that just kind of curve that way. And then that's where these are right here. And then I just align them and it goes right. Oops, 1, 2, 3, right here. I'm off one, there we go. And just line it up. You could feel it kind of fall right inside. Make sure it's inside this side and this side. So you really want to make sure, otherwise you're going to be slivering off part of your flower image. And then lay it down the best you can on here. Get your other plate. Let go of it carefully. Put your plate down. And then let's do this again. So it's easier with the small one, so you can go forward and backward and then forward and backward however many times that you want. But because of that plastic on there, it just gives it a little bit of a, it just does not like to go through that plastic. Now, I don't know why last night's popped out without a problem, like right away. And today, of course, on video, it's given me a little bit of an issue. See, it's coming out. You just have to kind of start it. It's just that plastic paper. I just try to be a little more cautious than not because I don't want to rip it. Although if I started over, I'd probably just cut right out. But see, it comes out. You just have to work it a little bit because of that plastic on there. But I would roll it through a few times. And it's going to help. You know what? I wonder if I rolled it where it cut the paper first. You know what I'm saying? Like put it in this way and put the die that way. If it would cut faster. Should we try it? Here's another circle that you can right here. That little circle. Alright, well let's try it. Why not? I want to try it and see if it works. I'm always up for making more sunflower cards later, so I don't want to do pink rose. I bought a lot of this paper, so I'm feeling okay with this. Now, I don't know if you can see, there's a slight scratch right here. And it doesn't even look like it's a scratch. It looks like the blade was just set down, like something marked it, because you cannot feel it. But to be totally honest, I've done a lot of projects with this paper, and it has not fazed me one little bit. Like I didn't even know that it was there. I mean, I knew it was there, but once I cut it and used the paper, you don't even know. But I pretty much accent with this paper. I don't use it as a, you know, a panel on a card. So, oops, we're going to do it the other way. Let's see if this will work. I don't know if it's going to come out as nicely smoothed on the other side, like rounded like we want, but let's try it. I think it's worth trying to see if the blades go through the plastic first. That might be our secret. Don't tell anybody. Let's see. I know I'm off screen right now, but okay, I'm going 3 times. 1, 2, 3. So let's see. Oh, look at that. Ooh, it looks so cool on the other side too. So let's see if this paper, that paper is just a pain. I don't think it peels. I know I did see somebody say, oh, I wonder if it peels. It does not. Or at least I'm aware of. Okay, I don't like doing it that way at all. Because, I mean, if it was a sticker, it would be nice because you could just pull it off. But I don't like it that way. So let's see if I can recut it the other way now. So let's see. Here's my 3. I don't think I can. Well, I don't know. No, I don't think I can because it's going to go the opposite way. But let's just try and cut it again and see if that works. All right, so we're going to put it back on. Put it back on our plate and try this again. I really think it has something, well, what's weird is it worked fine for me yesterday, and I used it on the larger machine that I used at first and didn't have a problem. And I really don't think it needs a shim because it's taking a bit of time to go through. It's nice and strong. And it looks like it goes all the way through. That's what's so funny. See? Alright, well, we're going to just, I don't like this one at all. I don't like doing, I mean, it comes apart, but you really have to pull. I'm afraid it's going to rip. Let's keep going and see what happens. This is our experiment. See, you can see it pull the plastic. Like, you can see that really pushed the plastic into the, okay, I don't like that one at all. We're going back to the other one. So I would not suggest cutting it from the top side down or the back side up where the white is. I suggest you just do it this way. And for some reason, whatever reason, this has taken me longer than yesterday. Yesterday they pretty much not fell out, but like this. It was pretty easy. Oh, see here, we're getting easier now. There we go. This is how it was yesterday. They just kind of fell out. I mean, you had to help them, but okay, lesson learned. Don't do it from the top, from the white, because that does nothing. This worked. I kind of think that this side just caught my work side of my plate maybe and just didn't cut very well for whatever reason, because this is like it was yesterday. I'm feeling better. Because I'm like, they're probably like, really, that looks terrible. I'm not going to use it. It's really not that bad. Like I said, yesterday was like this, nice and easy. That side right there just has given me issues for some reason. And I've used this on a lot of projects, and never had a problem. But this one all of a sudden, although this is an intricate die, you have to take that into consideration. All right, almost done. And just be careful. I like to do it from this inside outward because you don't want to break your edges if you can help it. If you have to glue one together, that's fine. And once you use this on top of your sunflower, it's really easy to kind of glue together in case you do accidentally break one of your leaves. All right, I know you're watching me weed. That's exciting, huh? So don't forget, you guys, I mentioned my bingo. I'm super excited about it. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. There's going to be a lot of gifts and prizes, and you'll get the make and takes. So for your $35 for your entry, you will get 3 cards and 1 3D project. The night of bingo, I will create them, so you will have a tutorial right there for you. But I will send you all the die pieces, the embellishments, all those goodies. And to create them, you're going to have a really fun technique on the 3D item. 2 of the cards will be fancy fold. I'm going to have 4 bingo games, I believe. And I mentioned before what the prizes will be. Well, that's my goal. So somebody had talked to me and said, you know, you should probably not put what the prizes are exactly, because it really does depend on how many people I have, which is a good point. Because if I don't get a lot of people to sign up, then, you know, that's going to have to change my prizes, of course. But my goal is to do a lot of big prizes. But I may be doing a lot of littler prizes, which isn't a bad idea either, because we're still going to have a great fun night of playing bingo, doing make and takes, chatting, and just having a really good time. I did it at 5:30 in the evening Pacific time. That way I can catch the East Coast people, and even overseas it's a little earlier than later. And I can try and get the California people when they get home. I'll create a card first. That way, in case they're rushing in the door and then want to jump on, get the bingo, then hopefully they'll make the first one. Also, don't forget to write down your numbers. I would suggest taking a screenshot of the numbers that you send to me. Either keep them on your phone or add them onto your calendar for that day. And that way you can just look at your calendar and your numbers will be right there. And that'll save us a lot of time from me having to, give everybody their numbers. So that would be really helpful. All right, so also don't forget that it's the last chance sale going on from our mini catalog. So if there's something in the mini catalog that you've been wanting, make sure you grab that before it's gone. Not all items will be on sale. Well, they're just really called a last chance sale, meaning get it now because it's going to be gone. Okay, I also like to put this down on the ground if it doesn't come right out, and then just kind of poke it and pull up, and so that way your little, I think these are called brads, and here they come out. And so I'm just poking the last few, and I really like to have those poked out so you can see. So as I'm making this huge mess, this is the card we're creating. So there's going to be a lot of watercolor technique and some fun techniques with this one. Okay, I think that looks pretty darn good. Couple little pieces, we'll get to those in a bit. So let's set that aside with the rest of our gold and our gold there, and let's get to coloring. That was enough. Oof. Taking all those little pieces out. All right, so those were the dies we used. We used the Stitched Greenery for the background here that we're going to color, the Encircled Beauty, and the Sunflower die. All of this will go in the trash. I have gold everywhere. All right, so we are going to take this, and I'm not going to cut this down. I'm going to color it just like it is, and we're going to come up with what size we're going to cut it when we're done. But some of this will go on the inside, so we want to keep that. I'm going to bring in my tape from my last video and use as much of it as I can because it's still very sticky, but I'm going to turn it around and use the other side. So we're just going to, you just need a little bit to put it down. And this one actually gives me a little edge that doesn't have the die on it. And if it goes over a little bit, that's okay. So let's just tape it down here. All right. This one's pretty big. This is blank. There's no pattern right there, so I'm just going to go right over that right there. And put that down there, and then we just need one more piece. And it's going to cut off right about there. And this is Post-it tape, and so it's like a Post-it washi tape. All right, so there we go. So this one's going to be a little different than what I did on the last card. Okay, so I'm going to keep it zoomed in. Let me move this card over here for you so you can kind of see it. All right, so this one I did a little bit different. We are going to do the same by wetting the card. So let me grab my water and a large brush. I'm going to use a new one here. Well, it's not new, it's just had water on it because my other one had pink on it, and there's no pink in this card. So I just want to, because I just used it, I'm going to go ahead and switch it out. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm just kind of blocking my project. I'm going to put this on there, and you could spritz that, but instead I'm going to take the brush. Oh, let me find my towel that I had here. All right. I like to have a Kleenex in case I need to dab off some extra water. We're going to just add water on it like this. So you could actually spritz it, but I like to just add it here. I have a little more control, and I know how much is super wet you know, how much do you have on here that is super wet, how much isn't. You don't want like super big puddles, but you definitely want it wet. This is watercolor paper. All right, so this is why we're kind of taping it down. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a block, and I'm going to take about this size. I kind of want a larger one. We're going to start with the lightest color, which is Granny Apple Green. And we're going to just squish on there. Okay. And now we're going to do more water. All right. And now we're going to take, where's my green? We're going to take this one here. This is a green. Let me fix this and clean this off. And now, I'm going to pull that in there a little bit. Okay. Now you're going to take this and just get your green and get it wet. Now, you could do two things. You could just start putting it on here, pick up the water and do this, or you can blend your ink on here really well. You don't want any ink. You want water on your ink. Then you can pick up your block and you can smush it there and smush it over here. Okay, now take this and blend it. Okay, so just kind of get yourself a couple blocks and make sure it's blended, because you're going to have some ink on there that is just ink and not water. So you want to really make sure you have your water on there. And the more water you put, the lighter it can be. Okay, now you can also come in with the tissue and kind of pick up. See how it's not super dark right there? But I didn't mind having those darker spots, and now I'm just going to leave it like that to add a little bit of texture. Okay, and now I have a baby wipe. I'm going to wipe this off because we're going to go to the next color. And what I like to do is, while this is wet, I just flip it over to the next color and it'll dry, and then we'll just keep flipping it, and it just kind of keeps it a little drier. We are okay to keep using this color, this marker, if you want, because next we're going to be using Bermuda Bay. You know what, actually I think I am going to switch, because we're using two blues anyway, and I'm going to keep this one green because we may come back to it. All right, so now we're going to do the same thing. We're going to smash your ink color. It doesn't have to be a whole lot. You could do it with markers like we did on the sending hugs technique on the last video. However, this is a much bigger area, and so I choose to use the blocks instead. Now I'm going to clean up this clean water that we had there that wasn't so clean anymore because it had green in it. And I'm going to put some fresh water. Okay. We're going to take this and just kind of lightly go over our areas here again, because it's being really absorbed with our paper, our watercolor paper. We're going to bring this in and get it nice and wet. So we're basically picking water up and putting it on here. I don't like to spray with the spray bottle directly, because it will just mist this color all over everything. And you'll be seeing Bermuda Bay for a week. All right, so now you can pick up the water and you can kind of add it on here where you want it. I love these colors together. Okay, you can cross over them, you can do whatever, or you can pick this up and just smush it where you want it. I'm going to do one big spot right there because we've got some other color to bring in, and I want to see, now you can spritz this. Okay, it's going to just kind of make it fade out a little bit. All right, I'm just going to go to the edge right here, and this is just going to kind of blend in. And I'm going to leave that for right now because we're going to start layering in a little bit. But you want to make sure you dry in between the layering. Okay, so I'm going to wipe up the blue again, the Bermuda. All right. Now we did a lot of green, notice, because we're going to be coming in with some blues now. And you just really want to make sure that your green is pretty predominant, but because that's going to be the light color that you have. So before I do the next color, I'm going to bring my, I like the darkness of this, so I'm going to leave it like it is and use my my heat gun to just dry this so I can continue layering. Otherwise it's just going to muddy up. And remember I said I wanted to bring a tissue in. See how that is really puddled right there. Take the tissue and just pick up the puddles and then just dry it. When you're doing watercoloring, layering is really important, and so drying it layers it much, much better. Because once your color is on and you dry it, it's there. And then you can continue layering colors on top. Alright, so by having this, see, I can feel right there that's very wet. So I want to, and depending on your surface, like this is kind of a magnet, but it's got plastic. I don't want to just hold it in one spot because I don't want to warp my board, but ideally, if you get like a wooden clipboard or something, that's like the best thing to get. All right, so now it's pretty dry. It's not completely dry, but definitely dry enough to add layers on. So next, what we're going to do is bring in some Pacific Point, and we're not going to need a lot of it. It's a very bold color. So just be mindful of that. And I'm noticing that yesterday I did switch out my colors. So now I'm trying to get this Bermuda Bay off my fingers. This is what's going to happen. You get it all over, but that's okay. So now we're going to do our color in here. See, you can really see the ink that's kind of saturated in certain spots, and that is okay. So don't worry about that. All right, I need to move over because I'm sliding myself out of your view, and I'm sorry. No one's here to tell me, move over. All right, so I'm going to actually move this up here so you can kind of see it. And this is very, very blue, so you don't need a whole lot, but that's the fun of layering it up. So now we're going to grab some more water, and now you can add that really pretty vibrant color. Okay. All right, so you can add it in here like that, or I'm going to mist this area, and I'm going to go ahead and smush down here, smush up here, and I got some right here, and that's okay. Okay, so get the water. Now you can hold your hand there, just kind of spritz your water so it can kind of water up. So it's just whatever you want to do. Now the one I did here yesterday, I really layered it up a lot, but I'm going to also show you some other technique that we're going to do. So let's get this blue over here. Okay. All right, so that is super pretty. All right, so let's kind of clean this up. And we're going to still do some stuff. Now this is going to turn out to be completely different than this one. I used way more blue on this one, but I really wanted to see, you know, kind of add this, make this card way more vibrant, because I really wanted to make the sunflower way more yellow than I did yesterday. So, and we can always go back in and do some more with this if we need to. I mean, we are going to do some other things with it. I'm going to show you how I did this gold splatter on here. There's some gold splatter. I'm going to show you that. So just make sure it's dried pretty well. My gun doesn't quite reach, but all right. So now I'm gonna undo it just a little. I want to make sure it's not so. No, it's good underneath. So, but we don't really have to have it taped anymore. We're still going to be doing some coloring and some technique on here, but it doesn't need to be taped down. So let's untape it so that we can make sure it's dry, number one. And number two, once it's dry, we have some more techniques to show you on how to make your back panel. And I'm not worried about that tear right there where it got really wet, but we're going to be cutting that off anyway. And this is just extra. Right here, there's some paper that I just tore off. And that's fine. We're cutting all that off, so I'm not worried about that. But see how I use this tape? If you saw my last video, the sending hugs, I told you that you can reuse that and use more. See, I still had some color underneath here, so I want to make sure. See, because this has little holes in it. All right, so let's finish drying that. All right, now I'm gonna hold it up. We really want to make sure it's dry. And we're going to do a lot more to this panel, so having it dry is going to be just more beneficial to you and how it comes out. Alright. Alright, I think that is good enough. I'm just going to keep this underneath because it's going to keep my surface clean. But I'm going to grab a little hand sanitizer and make sure I got this color off as much as I can, because I'm going to have more color being added to my fingers. All right. There we go. Now, I always like to keep these microfiber towels just to wipe everything. So now I have this on. I'll have to take my scrubby to get it off, but at least I know it's not going to rub off on my project. All right. So now what I did is I took some markers and I'm going to go through and kind of do what I did on the last video. But I think I'm going to use these two colors because I have a lot of blue. So I'm going to go through and let's just test it and see what we think. I'm going to go through and just do this right here. And then I'm going to come in. Where is my green? Here it is. Yes. And I'm just going to add water onto here on my block. Just a nice puddle. And then I'm going to come in with my green brush and just kind of bring that around. We're going to put some green on here too. All right, and then we're just going to add the Bermuda just kind of at the base. And we may end up adding some Pacific Point, but I'm not quite sure yet. And we just need a little bit of green. We don't need a lot. It has a lot of pretty color in the background already. So now we're just going to kind of watercolor it up. Okay, so it doesn't have to be. Now, why it's blending so nicely is because the paper's dry. If the paper was still wet, it would be blending with whatever's underneath it, and it would make a mess. And we don't even have to do the whole leaf. I'm just kind of going up most of the way because we're just kind of adding more depth to the card. All right, so you do not have to add Pacific Point, and I kind of like this so far because we're just kind of adding some color. And even here, we can come back in a little bit. We're going to bring some green. And I'm just kind of going over the Bermuda just to give it a little more help with blending. And you could just lay your water down and just kind of let it do its job there for a minute. Okay, so we're at the bottom. And then you can come back and kind of blend it upward. And you're going to get more of that watercolor look. And if it goes outside the lines, it's all right. Right? We just kind of want to see the depth. Now see the difference between over here and up here. You're just kind of really popping those leaves out. So it just really has a fun background. And you're just going to continue doing that. The lines that are kind of in between, I don't think you have to add anything to that. You could if you wanted to. But I think by the time we're done, you're going to notice that you're going to see the difference already. Just by some other techniques we're going to do here in a bit. So just kind of, I mean, even though you're going to cut some of this off, remember, a little strip of this could be on the inside of your card. So you want to make sure that you do your whole panel because you may use that strip. Okay, and then we can come back in and add more color. Like I added a little more right here, and I think I'll probably end up adding a little more there, but I don't need to right now. I'm just going to continue going on with my Bermuda Bay, adding a little bit of my Granny Apple Green. Okay, that's about it. I don't want to do too many leaves ahead because I don't really want this paper to absorb the ink and the ink to start drying. I want it to still be movable. So just keep going in and color those leaves in. Like I said, it does not have to be neat. This is watercoloring, so you just want to kind of get the form of a leaf so you can tell that it's a leaf. Like this one, I should go up a little higher. And then when you feel like it's getting a little dry by painting, just grab a little more water. But see how this one kept really the blue on the bottom and the green on the top? That's kind of what I want. And so just kind of follow the lines, and you don't have to do the whole line, just some. All right, and then add your green. All right, just keep grabbing your water and then work your way up. You really want to puddle up that at the bottom, kind of get those colors blended. Like right here, the green and the Bermuda, kind of blend those together and then just kind of brush upward and then brush down, so you don't really have to go out of the leaf image very much. Okay. I'd really like it if you guys would subscribe and share and hit the bell for your notifications. If you're new, please say hi. I'd love to hear from you. And while I am not live, I would still love you guys to leave a message, say hi, let me know where you're from. Do you like this new technique I'm kind of doing? And I did a little bit of this on the last video, so it kind of goes along with that. And to me, this is a little more mixed media-ish. I've had somebody say, that's not mixed media. I know what mixed media is. To me, I say mixed media-ish, because it's not just stamping and coloring. I'm bringing in inks and, you know, messy. If it's messy, to me, it's mixed media. I guess that's what I should say. If it's messy, it's mixed media. So anyway, to me, it's mixed media-ish. It's just a different, outside the box, playing with product. So to me, mixed media-ish. Okay. That noise you keep hearing is my stool. Now I like how these dark lines are in here and these, but these are kind of blending out, but we're going to go back over some of the items. So don't worry about that. I'm going to try and move a little faster because this coloring does take a little bit of time, but I want to show you some other items that I'm going to do, and it's really going to help make this really vibrant. Alright, I have to keep looking up because my laptop thinks it's time to go to sleep. I'm going to have to turn that timer off, I guess. Normally in a live I'm watching it, so it's easy for me to see it and, you know, move my mouse or adjust it or whatever. But when I'm focusing down and talking to you like this, I'm not paying attention. So hopefully my video doesn't go off. Okay, so I thought that was a leaf, and so I went outwards a little bit, but that's okay. It's probably going to be covered by the sunflower anyway. So this one is obviously going to be a little brighter than my last one right here. So it's just a matter of what colors you use and how much of the color. If I would have done not quite as much Pacific Point and did more of the greens, then it would be darker and it would be more like the one on the left that I already did. But I really wanted to make the sunflower a little more yellow. So that's what I think our goal is to make it a little more yellow. And actually it wouldn't be a bad idea to do your sunflower first, because you're layering it up and you're doing so much with it that it could be that your panel or your background could be made after, so you can have an idea of what colors you need to make it. Alright, I'm going to add a little water. With this spray bottle, if you just squeeze really slowly, you're going to get a puddle, but if you squeeze hard, you're going to get a big spray, so you just have to be careful. Alright, so this is taking a little while. This is not a short video, so if you have to watch the replay, I totally get it. And then you can fast forward through all this coloring, but I kind of like watching how the colors, you know, blend, and when you watch it you can be like, oh, I like the way that leaf came out, and then you can kind of see, did I put more blue, did I put more green, less water, you know, that kind of thing. But we will be changing some of this up, so don't worry, it's gonna blend a little bit more but still have a lot of color to it. So, and that's the fun about this mixed media-ish type stuff, is you can just keep going or not keep going as much as you'd like. And I have to say, a lot of times when I do mixed media-ish type stuff, a lot of times I think, oh gosh, I don't like that. If you think that, don't throw it away. Walk away, set it aside, go to another project, and then the next day you'll probably come in and go, oh, I know what I could do with that. And it may be something completely opposite. You may look at this and go, ooh, that does not go with sunflowers, but you know what? I could pop up a nice big white embossed sentiment with vellum or whatever right on top of this, and how pretty would that be? You might want to pull out your Forever Fern stuff and stamp in these same colors and create something. I mean, there's all kinds of stuff you can do. So I have tossed so many away, and then the next day I see them in the trash and I'm like, oh, how'd that get in the trash? You know, that was my good one, and it's not. It's the one that I didn't like. So just, you know, don't throw it away. Set it aside. And if anything, you can always use this as a die cut. Die cut letters out or whatever to put on a project. So there's so many things you can do that, you know, don't throw them away. There's a lot to be said. I mean, this is not easy work, it's not hard work, but it's, you know, you put your thought into it and you're there's soul into it. So start thinking about, what else could you use it for? And just set it aside. I had a project one time where it was kind of like this. It was like a bunch of blues and greens, which is how I came across realizing how much I like blues mixed with greens for, grass or for seascapes or, different kind of images. And I was like, man, I really like a little bit of blue. And at the time it was Pretty Peacock. That was my go-to to blend in with greens and blues, right? And but what I did is whatever it was I was working on, I really wasn't thrilled with the project. And so I put it aside and just kind of started a little container of watercolor type mixed media images that I could use for something else. And I think I pulled it out and I used it either for like a turtle or a frog, or I don't remember what it was. And I loved how that came out because, number one, it was already all done. And when I was going to work on this other project, I said, oh, you know what? I wonder if that green blue paper that, I put together would work with this. And it was perfect. Absolutely perfect. So think about that. I mean, you could take this and cut out like seaweed or whatever, and it would work out perfect for your image. And that's not what it was meant for at all, but it's already done. That's another great thing. It's already done. And so you're like, ooh, I'm going to grab that and use it and see what I come up with. Okay, so we're getting back into the blues over here like that was over there. So think about that. You're going to put a little more green on it. All right. And we are almost done with this part. You are going to die when you see what I do next. You're going to be like, wait, what? And of course, I don't know what it's going to look like. I just know what I'm thinking. So hopefully it's going to be okay. It will be. It's going to be what it is, right? All right, so I kind of try to look and see where the stem is coming from. So that the blue, the Bermuda Bay, is the base. So that's kind of what I'm trying for. And at some point it gets kind of hard to see, like, wait, is that a leaf? I don't know. So, like, this one's a leaf. Missed it all together. All right, so I'm just adding the green in there, getting close to the end. And you see how they're kind of bleeding out, and that's okay. You'll see why. It's given us the images of the leaves, which is what we want. That's our main goal right here, is to just get the images of the leaves so we know where our leaf is at, right? So now you can see your leaves right here. And these are lighter a little bit. I'm adding a little more water, but that's just because they're so blue. I just want to make sure we can see them. Almost done here. And remember, a lot of these are going to be trimmed off, but that's okay. We're going to fill them in. Ooh, that scared me. I don't know why my sound is on my phone, but let me turn that down. All right, so here we go. Almost done with this, and then we can start moving on to the next step. All right, I think we're done with that part. All right, so now what we're going to do is I'm going to keep this one out the green. And what we're going to do is we are going to wipe this water off. We're going to come back with our green ink pad. I know, you're like, oh my gosh, what is she doing? Okay, so right now it's very like, you can see the leaves and everything. So what we're going to do is we're going to add our puddle down here. We're going to take this green one, and this is like a medium size. It's you know, not super small but not really big either. And we're just going to wet this up, and you want a lot of water. Okay, so you want it kind of watered down. And now what you're going to do is you're just going to go over it lightly. Okay, you could take a block and do it. I mean, you could really water this down and do it like that, but I want a lot of water on it because we're just going to lighten it up a little bit and make it a little more muted. See how it's just kind of muting together the colors, and it's just kind of making it a little more. You don't want this to be your main focus, right? It's the background. You don't want this to be your main focus. So we're just going to go over with color, and now we're going to take and just kind of blot, and we're taking the super vibrant colors off, and we're just kind of muting it a little bit so it just blends a lot better. Okay, you see how we did that? Now this is good. I am good with this, so I'm cleaning up my mess. I always take these and just kind of roll them in a baby wipe so that when you use the next color, it's, you know, if you're not using the exact same blue or exact same green. And you could just keep water over those, and I'll do more when I'm done with the video. So I'm just going to kind of see how it gets lighter and lighter, and I'll just clean that up. All right, so now we're going to clean this. Don't you wish the cleaning fairy could just come in and clean it all up so you can just go to the next step? I can't just set it aside and move on because I have nowhere to put it. My poor room is just has projects everywhere. All right. So now we have that done. And now what we're going to do is we are going to dry this and set it aside and then move on to our next project, except I lost my lid. Here we go. And we are still going to be using some of that stuff. All right, so let's dry this. And we're going to set it aside. But do you see how it just kind of muted together, and now it looks like DSP? You know, now it looks a little more not so harsh with the darker lines and everything, but you can see the leaves. So pretty. Remember that it's going to seep through a little bit, so you want to make sure you get front and back really dry. This one's really pretty. I like how this one came out. I knew adding more of the Granny Apple Green would really brighten it up. You can kind of put your hand on it and feel where it's still wet and where it's dry. But remember, be very careful when you cut this. It's got to be dry, or if it's wet and you're cutting it, you're going to just grab it and rip it. So be super careful with cutting that. Okay, so that is done, and now we're going to bring in our sunflower. Now I took the sunflower and I embossed it in gold, and I'm just trying to save a little bit of time. It's so small, you really don't have to tape it down, but we're going to come in with some colors, and we are doing this one all with markers. And so I just grabbed a bunch of markers, and it's really, I'm going to try and hope that I grabbed everything I did yesterday. I think I'm going to grab some daffodil though, because I want it brighter to go with our background. So let me grab Daffodil Delight. And I'm going to back up for just a second because I actually had these leaves left over from yesterday, and I should have done that while I still had everything out. But I'm just going to take a little block. I'm going to take Granny Apple Green, and we're just going to put it on here, and we're just going to add a little bit of green to these leaves and just make them a little bluishy green, a little more like our project. So I'm going to add blue right here, just in the corner, and let's just add some water. These were from yesterday. Like I said, they were extras, but I'm kind of thinking we're going to change up the color. Okay, so I think what I'm going to do is take the blue, oops, wrong end, and just kind of go here and here and there, and then I'm going to take the green and I'm going to go here, here, and here. Okay, and the watercolor is going to go outside, and that's okay because number one, we're going to die cut them, and number two, it's going to be die cut, and then you're going to put the gold on top. Sorry, I just got a weird message on my phone. So I just want to make sure that you blend that in and there. And now we're just going to let those dry because we have plenty of time. We can dry them later if we need to. But I think these match a lot better than what they did. All right, I'm sorry. I'm going to look at this weird message because it was a security alert and I want to see what it is. Just to make sure. Okay. All right. Now, we're going to set that aside and move on to our sunflower. Okay, so what I did first is I took the brown, and we're going to keep the middle of our sunflower brown just because that seems the thing to do. All right, and then what I did is I'm going to change it up just a little bit. You're not really going to see this because you're adding your gold on top of it. And I know I did this gold and then we add the gold on top, but you see all the gold and it just really looks good. Now I'm going to take the green because I'm fine with that. And I'm just going to blend that a little bit. Just blend these two together. Just to kind of make sure it looks still watercolor-ishy, right? All right, wiping it on my baby wipe. And now I'm going to have to reach for my other colors that I used. My yellow yesterday. All right, so here are two of them. I think this one was the one I used yesterday. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to start with some different colors. I don't think I'm going to put orange in there, but we may. We'll see. I'm going to take Bumblebee, and I'm just going to put it at the bottom like this. I'm going to put it at the bottom like that, and then I'm just going to go up like the leaves here in the background. I'm just going to go up a little bit. Do you see how I'm doing that? These are like a second layer up here. So I'm just kind of doing them at the base. And just putting a little bit there. All right, now we're going to come in with yellow and the water, and we're just going to blend that a little bit. And this is really, the sunflower is kind of like, just keep blending and doing it until you get what you want. So blend it, dry it a little bit, blend it, add something, blend it. It's just kind of like get what you're looking for. And I want a lot of yellow on this one, but I want the depth. So I'm doing the bumblebee as my deeper color right now. Now I'm wiping that off. And now I'm gonna dry it for just a bit, like super quick, because there's not that much water on it. But if you're going to add another marker on top, you really want to make sure. And I still want to add a lot of bright to it because it's going on a really bright base. Okay, so I think what I'm going to do is add a little bit of crushed curry. And you can tell that's a little bit of a deeper color. And I'm just randomly. Now remember, you're going to have this on top. So it's really not earth-shattering for you to put it, you know, in the exact right spot. I'm just kind of adding that deeper yellow because I'm going to be coming in with daffodil and saffron and really lightening this up. So I'm just kind of adding the deeper colors here and there, just to make sure. All right, so we're going to do that. Again, you're going to take your color and just kind of blend that out, and it doesn't have to be, I mean, you're going over gold embossing, so it's not like you can really go, you don't have to go exactly in the lines. And you don't even have to blend all of this dark. It's going to leave a little bit of depth in your card. Okay, so I am good with that. All right, so now we're going to really bring in the brighter colors. So we have Daffodil Delight and Saffron. So I'm going to move all of those out of my way. And now I'm going to dry this a bit. All right. So now I think what I'm going to do is I am going to do the daffodil, because this is, I really want to lighten, and I'm just going to go over everything and go over the tips. I may not even use the saffron, so we'll see. You don't have to be exact. This is going to be die cut out, and that gold is going to hide anything on the edges. So, and I'm going to show you another way you're going to lighten this up. So let's do daffodil. We're going to do it from the edges inward. Remember, this is regular paper, so you don't want to put too much. I mean, this is the, oh, is this? Oh yeah, this is watercolor paper. But it can still knot up, so you want to be careful how much you put on it, and by drying it really does help with your being able to add your next layer of colors. Okay, so I'm starting at the edges, but I also want to kind of move down with this color, and you can go around down inside as you go, because I really want, and I think I will try some saffron. I want to try something. Okay, so now you have all that on here, and it's still pretty dark, so I'm going to try and add some saffron. Okay, but let's wet it first. So you're going to take your brush and just kind of really go around. See how that daffodil is getting really vibrant now? Okay, so go around. Now, at this point, you could take a towel. See how light it's getting? But you still have that shadowing on there. So just kind of go around, get it wet, take your towel and wipe it off a little bit. Just a little bit. You don't want a lot, but see how those darker spots are here, from the darker colors, you want that in there as a layer. Okay, and then just kind of dab. Okay, so that's making your flower more vibrant. Okay, so it's starting to look a little better. Now I'm going to dry it. I know there's a lot of coloring and drying in here. We're just about ready to assemble. All right, so now I'm going to take the So Saffron and just kind of go in over everything. Just add that vibrant, that lighter color of yellow. All right, and now take your water and just go over that. And you can go inward. So your outsides are brighter and you're moving all the color towards the inside. So your lighter is on the outside. And I know it seems like it's a lot of steps, but if you only do 1 or 2 steps, you're not going to get the depth in your flower. All right, so that is, I think, going to be vibrant enough because the next step will even make it brighter. So let's dry this off. All right, so the next thing you want to do is you are going to take your Wink of Stella and you are going to go around the whole thing and it's going to lighten it up. It's also going to really add a lot to it. And I don't know if you can see it lightening, but it kind of lightens it up. And it just really adds a wow to your card. And I do the middle last because it's brown, and then that way you can come back and wipe it all off. Because I missed some outer edges over here. All right, so we're good with that. Let me put these away so I don't lose them. Okay, so now we are going to die cut this. I'm going to dry it just a bit. I can still feel it's a little wet. Alright, so we have this die right here. I hope you guys are liking it. Leave me a message, let me know. I know it's a lot of coloring. Okay, here's my 3 curves, which are over here. So make sure you align those up. And then align your sunflower up. Just like that. Okay, looks good. I'm on this board that's going to move, so I love my mini machine. Love, 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 love. And I did the video today. Oh, see, I was so close to the edge because I did it on my mini. I wasn't thinking about making sure it was in the right spot. So we're just going to cut that little piece by itself. Okay. So when I did my video today, I forgot that I didn't draw for the mini machine. So I will get all that ready to go, and when I return on Tuesday, I will do the drawings for that. I got to get everybody's names together and write them down. All right, so now we have this. Let's go ahead and glue our pieces. So I'm going to move the board. Bring in this and let's glue these together. Now we're going to, oh, you know what else I forgot? I forgot to die cut out our flowers, and they are dry, our leaves. Wow, you guys really get to see the card from beginning to end other than a small portion, right? All right, so we're going to add our leaf on here and die cut. And just like the sunflower, the gold leaves go right over on top of these leaves. So you didn't have to die cut these in gold, but you'll see when it's all done how pretty it looks. Okay, so also the outside of this, don't worry about it, you're going to see some ink, but that's where the gold goes, so you're not even going to see that, so don't worry about it. I was so happy the sunflower set stayed because I really like it, and I didn't want it to go away. So when they said it was staying, I was so happy because I wanted to play with it some more. All right. So this is the sturdiest little machine I've ever had. I've had some and they've all broke or whatever. It was terrible. But this one's just as strong as the large one. All right, so there's that. Okay, so now we're gonna glue this. So make sure it's dry, and it is. I'm gonna get my tweezers and I'm gonna just hold it like right there. Now I don't make it, you know, I don't put glue on everything, but I do go around the center. I do a pretty good amount, and then I go up and I just kind of dab along the outside. Oops, can you see me? Sorry. Blind person trying to do it close up. And then I just kind of try to dab. That one had a lot. Go up a couple of the branches, but then kind of dab around the outside here. You just want to make sure it's going to stay. And you don't want it, you know, up too much and catch on stuff. So that's why I try to focus on the edges, and then sometimes I just go in the middle and add a little bit. We're almost done. All right. Now I just take it by a little spot that might not have glue. And here are my turns right here. 1, 2, 3, I just count those. There you go. Just lay that down. And you can go in and add glue to the edges a little later if there's a couple edges you missed. I'm going to just set that aside, and I'm going to put an ink pad on top. All right, now we're going to bring in our 3 leaves. And we're going to do the same thing. But this time, I just go straight down the middle, and then I just go along the outside the best I can. It doesn't have to be on every little tiny piece, but and I make sure I get it on the bottom, and then you can put a little dab on the leaves there. All right, I like to do it this way, so I'm going to turn the leaf this way. See how the outside is with the paint, you know, with the coloring and stuff and the white edges? And that's okay because you're going to put this right on top. And you could take your green brush back in and just paint your edges if you want, but I'm okay not to. I like it like, I mean, I like the, kind of makes it look like it has a natural look. And this is clear, the glue dries clear, so if you get a little bit out, it's okay. The leaves are busy, most of them are tucked. Okay, there's some glue right there, and I'll show you what I do. I'm just going to put that up, glue that there, and stick my finger right there, and it'll take off all that extra glue. So 2 down and 1 more, and we're ready to assemble. That won't take long. All right, go up, outside, all right, here we go. Hopefully my head's not in the way, sorry if it is. All right. You could turn it over and just kind of make sure you're within your leaf. That's fine. This one has a lot of white on it, like a whole lot. So I'm going to take my green and see if there's any left on it. And there's not, so I'm going to take my green marker. I'm going to spray my brush a little bit. And I'm going to grab just a tiny bit of green. Like so tiny I can hardly paint on it. There you go. And then just go down the side a little bit. See? I mean, it's just a little bit. You could even do this. Just do a little bit because now it's wet. And then you could just take your brush in there. It's a lot lighter green, but at least it's not white. So you can fix it like that. And it's a lot lighter because it had, you know, this green has some blue in it, but it's okay because we can tuck that side. All right, so these are done. This is done. The sentiment, I really, really like this set. Threw it together. It just has a lot of really cute sentiments to it. The last one I did is "You are capable of great things." And I think I'm going to use "Don't let worry spoil your happy" because I think this will be a card. Actually, "You're capable of great things." I like that one too. I like "Follow your dreams." Let's do "Follow your dreams." So here's a set that I've hardly used. It's brand new. I just got it. So we're going to use this one. So this is how I do my stamps, and we are almost done. I'm going to take this block because it's big enough. I like them to be bigger so I can see the whole stamp. And now now my head will get in the way probably. And what I do is I come right over and I just lower it closer, closer, closer as I'm looking all the way around, and then make sure my stamp is there, and then I go to pull it off. This is what I was talking about in the last video. It is really on there, so just kind of lift it up, and there you go. Now, stamp wise, I'm going to put it on a smaller block because I'm not trying to get it in anything. I have a bunch of these little tiny strips of paper, so we're just going to use this. I'm going to bring in black, we're going to stamp it right. Hopefully this one will fit. Follow your dreams, so that's good. I kind of think I'm going to try another one. I think I smushed it, and follow seems really hard on there. That's better. Follow your dreams. Okay. And now what I did is I cut it this way, and I cut this way, and then I took my black marker on a piece of, I'm going to do it on the back of this, and then, no I'm not, because this is that slippery paper that I was using on the last video that didn't work, so let me have a scratch piece. There we go. We'll just use this. I splattered all over. And now you're going to take your thick side of your ink, and you are just, I do it from the back going forward, and I'm just going to go around like this. Now on the last one I did thicker, and I'll show you what I did, because we will do that, because this looks really thin. This project's super busy, so I want you to be able to see it. So I'm going to lay it down, take my paper, my pen, and just go straight down the side. Okay, and I need to do it a little thicker. Okay, and then this one, turn it, just lay it down, and go straight, and lay it down, and go straight. All right, so there is our sentiment. And I have, I think glue, my foam squares, dimensionals worked fine, so we're going to turn that over. And I think 3 is enough. We'll put those on here. All right, so there is our sentiment. Now we're going to cut our panel down. We're going to put it on black. I still think black would really make this really pretty and pop. So we'll do that. And now we're going to cut this down. So how I start this is I start by just cutting the top edge, or any edge that you see that needs to be cut. And so we're going to cut this because we're cutting the white off. All right, and same thing, if you needed to take a brush and color that, you can, but I'm not worried about it. And I'm going to cut this white image off down here, and this one over here. I know I should move up a little bit. All right, so now we cut off all of those. Now I still have a little white down here, so I'm going to just barely cut that off, like barely. All right, now we're going to cut. So I'm going to look at it, and I really like the way this side looks. So you just kind of see what you like. So we're going to go to 4 on here, but we're going to do the 5 1/4 first. Okay, so that we can have this piece for the inside. Okay, so now we're going to go to 4. And now you still have this piece for something too, so you can decide which one you want. So we're going to do that. And then I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a little piece of gold all the way across. Okay, this was the leftover of what we were using, so I'm going to grab that little piece. Okay, then on the inside we need Let's see, I thought I grabbed it, but I don't think I did. And I don't think I paneled anything up underneath it. I think I kept it like that. So I'm going to go ahead. Oh, I like this one because it's got some blue on it. Maybe we'll just do this side because it's got some blue. Okay, let's do that. All right, so we're going to add our glue. This looks like it was oozing out already on in my bottle holder. I think it's jealous because it's not working like my little bottle is. I'm using that one way more. All right, we're going to put that there. Now we're going to use our little one here and add our glue. Yeah, like I said, I used to use these bottles a long time ago, and I don't know what made me stop, but I started using them again. I'm so happy. All right, so there we go. Now you're going to notice that this feels higher than this one. It's because it's watercolor paper. So not only is watercolor paper thicker, but now it's got liquid in it. So it's going to be that much thicker because it's going to be absorbed color. Okay, so let's pick up these that I just got glue all over. And these, and now I have to wash my scissors, I know. All right, we're just about done now, yay! All right, we're going to adhere this inside. All right, how cute is that? I think with the gold and the coloring with the black is so pretty. All right, we can go ahead and put this down. Think about how you want to put it. And I really like this, so I'm going to put this up here. This is just a little more muted right here, so I'm going to add that there. I'm going to use our liquid glue because it is watercolor paper. Remember, when it's thicker, and it just may not lay as straight and nice as it should, being that it was wet and has ink in it. I'm going to pull that over just a little bit. There we go. All right, so that is good. Now, what I forgot, and I'm just going to go ahead and do it right on top with the black, is how did I get this gold sparkle? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you. I'm going to take that. I'm going to take crushed curry. I'm going to move that out of the way. Move everything out of the way. I don't mind if it gets on that. So you're going to put quite a bit of it on a block. Just color it on there pretty good. All right. Then you're going to take good old Wink of Stella, and you're going to put some, you know what, I think I should have used the ink pad because it really gives you a lot more, but I think this will be fine. But I think this one's the one running out. So let me grab another one. Happen to have one right here. Okay, that's a lot, but that's okay. See how it's yellow now? And I'm going to kind of pick it up like that because I want bigger spots, bigger sprays. And I want to make sure it's not all right here where the flower is going to go. You want it around the outside too. But now it looks like it's gold. You could do it like this, you get bigger pieces. And you can put as much as you want. I don't mind putting a lot. We are talking about gold, by the way. and your other stuff is really going to be covering a lot of it up anyway. But now it looks like gold instead of the clear Wink of Stella. So just put it on there wherever you want, and I like the big splotches. Okay, now take your Wink of Stella and wipe it off, because you can see how it'll start going clear. You want to wipe it off really good. Okay, now it's going to start going silver. Now what I'm going to do, besides wipe everything off that came in contact with this, is I'm just going to take, I have this little label here. I'm going to pull in this, and I'm just going to smoosh it, because I might want to put a sentiment on there. I might want to you know, layer something up on it, or use this to cut a flower or whatever. So don't waste it. You can always put it on something and use it later. All right, so I think that is good. And now for the final curtain. Finally. I miss talking to you guys when I'm doing this, you know that. I'm sitting here talking to myself. My husband's probably walked in and out a couple times thinking I'm done. Okay, I still like my cards like this. I could do it like that, but I don't want to. If I had a big sentiment, I may. So the first thing I'm going to do is we are going to glue our pretty little encircled with beauty down. And I'm just going to go right around the middle. Right around. And then I'm just going to kind of dab here and there, like in the middle part. It doesn't have to be all the way to the edges, because you're going to put your sunflower and stuff on top of it, right? So we're going to take this, and I'm just going to put it right about there, kind of in the middle, really. I know there's one right there that I didn't get, but let's just walk away. Don't look at it. All right, so we're gonna do our 3 in the middle. I don't do any more than that, because we want to tuck things back there and behind it and everything. So I like my sunflower kind of like this. I like these 3 down at the bottom. I don't know why. There's no rhyme or reason. All right, so I'm gonna put that there, except I'm gonna take my So Saffron, because I see a couple of little white tips here that the gold didn't cover, and now you can't even tell. So we did it, just those few there. Okay, now we're going to take our piece here, and I went ahead and we glued all these, because there's not a lot to adhere to for dimensionals. So I'm just going to do glue. And I want it between the flower and the gold in the background. The gold in the background is just an accent. You have 3 dimensionals behind your sunflower. So you should be able to tuck it in a ways. You might have to move it over just a bit, but you can get them all in there. And you want your, of course, your outside to be less than, you know, not hanging over the edge. So just kind of maneuver your pieces around that back piece. Okay, now we're going to do 1 leaf, and I did do dimensionals. But I'm also going to add glue, because we have watercolor paper, and I'm not sure. I just want to make sure everything is dry still. Ooh, this one I'm going to move over here, because see, this is the one that is white right there, and so I'm going to put, it has just a little bit of white, so I'm going to put this one here, and then I'm going to take this one, do a dimensional. You can kind of push the end back so that the glue adheres to the panel. And I'm just going to put this one, just kind of tuck it right on top, but over some, so it looks like those just clustered together. Then I'm going to take this one, add a little bit of glue. We're going to add this one up here. So it seemed like a lot of work to do. I mean, you could do your panels completely on a different day and just kind of work your panels, get, you know, the look you're looking for, and you know, have all your panels picked out, and then say, oh, okay, I want to do a sunflower with that one, or I want to do, you know, poppies with that one, or whatever you want. Do your panels separate. I didn't this time because I was kind of, you know, wanting to do this card, but you could totally do those on a separate day. Okay, this is the one that broke, remember? So we have it right here. And so we're going to put that in up here. So we're going to add a little more glue. We didn't do it on the very end, but the next leaves down, because we're just going to kind of have this one falling downward a little bit. Okay, and then we have this one that we're going to put up with, just kind of hanging out up here somewhere. So I'm not sure where yet. And I'm actually kind of thinking that I'm going to do the same as I did last time, and I'm going to cut this downward. And then don't be afraid to cut your images up and use them how you see fit. If I see something that I know I'm not going to use like it is, but you love it, if it was cut up or if it was this or that, then do that. Okay, I'm going to add a partial mini glue dot right there, and I usually have some like this one that's cut. I'm going to take off this, and even though it has glue on it, I'm going to go slide right under and then push that down right on top of it, because it'll glue. It'll be fine. Now this one, I think I'm just going to stick out over to the side a little bit. Add a little more full, to get a little more full right there. All right, we are just about done. So I'm just going to add that right there. Oops, I'm going to pull it out a little bit. Right there. All right, now our sentiment, and we are about done. Now, I could add gilded gems on here, which is my first instinct to do. I'm going to add that right here. All right, so I'm going to add gilded gems to this one. My original thought was I don't need gilded gems because the flower already is just a lot of beautiful. So let me find some. So I have some here, so let's see. I think if I just use these medium ones, I kind of do, I mean, I do love these gems. And I think I'm just going to add them like that. Just add 3. I kind of do, I mean, you know me. I got to add more. That's how I roll. And I kind of want to do like a triangle-ish. There. What do you guys think? Should I have added those or not? I like them, but I like gems. I also want to add sequins right now, but I'm not going to. All right, I hope you guys liked the card. I know it was a long video, and I'm not even live, but I knew it was going to be long, and I thought, you know what, this is the video that I want to do, because if I was live, it would even take longer because I would be chatting and doing announcements. So I'm just quickly going to remind you that I am doing a bingo. I would love for you guys to join us. It's going to be a lot of fun. You can go to my Facebook page, or excuse me, my blog, and at the top under events and classes, you will find the sign up. To shop with me, you can just click on that shop my online store, but don't forget to grab your host code, which is right below there, and you can just copy that and then paste it right into your order. And I'd really appreciate that. If you have any questions regarding either of those items, let me know. Also at the top there, you'll see last chance sale, and that is the items in our mini catalog that are leaving. So don't forget to get over there. If there's anything you've had your eye on, make sure you get over there and get it before they're gone. Don't wait for them to go on sale. They may not go on sale, but they're just letting you know that they're going to be leaving. And it also could be at a bundle price that you could get it. So you could get it cheaper now versus once they are gone off the last chance, then you're going to be paying full price for stamps and dies. So that's something to think about. Also, don't forget our new kits are available now, and on that menu button that says available kits, you're going to go there and see what the current kits are. The kits will be moving in and out of stock, meaning if one is gone, it may replenish and it might go on back order, but it may be gone for good, but then new ones will be coming. So that is why they're not listed in the catalog as an item to purchase straight from the catalog. And you really just need to go and keep looking for what is available and purchase as they are available. So that's something to think about. Also, our paper pumpkin is going to be expressions in color. You only have 9 days left to choose this one, and it's going to be gorgeous, and it's going to coordinate with our expressions in ink suite and bundles. And I think that is it for the announcements for today. Thank you so much for joining me. I am sorry I wasn't here live, but I hope you enjoyed the video. These were super fun. One more orange, a little more earth tone, and then this one here a little more vibrant, and in person it looks a little more vibrant than I'm noticing on the screen. But I did wear green just for the video. But so hopefully you like them both. Let's look again, and you can let me know which one you like the best. For those of you who comment below and let me know which one you like the best. Oops, let me move the light. I will be doing a drawing, and you will get one of these cards. So let me know which one you guys like the best. They're both like, oof, so pretty, so shiny. So let me know. I hope you like the technique. Let me know if you've done something like this before, where you do the coloring of the whole background and then kind of the smaller coloring on top of that. And let me know if you've tried that before. I'd like to hear from you. All right, everybody, I will be back on Tuesday, and I already have an idea of what I'm going to create. It's going to be simple, but it's going to be something that when you look in the catalog now, it is a new item. I'm going to warn you, but it's because I had it planned, and this was one that I looked at and I thought, what am I going to do with that? Then I saw something else in the catalog and I said, okay, I think I have an idea. So I got it just because I can show you that, you know, that you can just kind of think outside the box and come up with something. And I've showed a few people and they love it. So I think I'm going to show that to you, and hopefully it's an item that you might have passed over and thought, what am I going to do with that? And now I might give you an idea of what you can do. All right, everybody, have a fantastic rest of your week. I'm going to be going camping, so you will see this when I am coming home from camping. So don't forget to leave a comment And everybody that comments will go into the drawing, not just those letting me know which one you like. Everybody will go into the drawing for one of the cards and another little something special. I'll do 2 drawings. All right, everybody. See you on Tuesday. Bye.